Abusuya, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Terrace drew wabepie mu wɔ ɔman Ghana mu. Na wɔba ha na wonim sɛ wɔyɛ bibini prɛko pɛ. St. Kitts and Nevis nso yɛ bea a abibifoɔ a kan tete. Wɔn nam slave trade so ɛkɔ kaa obi man so no ebi ne wɔn. Na wɔn wɔ America mpɔtam a kyerɛ sɛ wɔn deɛ island so na wɔte. Na wabepie mu wɔ ɔman Ghana mu a na wei ne nyinaa no wɔde bɛ strengthen wɔn bilateral ɛyɛ ayɔnkofa a ɛda ɔman Ghana ne wɔn ntam na ɛtumi aboa ama yɛtumi ayɛ ama biribi biara akɔ so kamakama. Nti ɔpanin ɛna wa inspect guard of honor wie a Charlie wa guy o wotutu taataa na wɔba bɛhyia Ghana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na abusua ha yɛ Ghana News TV so no w'ani gu a wɔhwɛ no Jubilee House ɛna yɛ report ɛde fi nea ɛbɛfi ato biara na abusua yɛde ne nyinaa yɛaka bɔ mu a yɛde ɛbɛso mu owie nso odua tree of life ɛwɔ ɛyɛ yɛatena yɛkɛseɛ mu abusua yɛnkɔ ani nhwɛ sɛnea bibibia ɛkɔ ha Ghana News TV so yi deɛ na mesrɛ sɛ sɛ wɔama no na ɔso sɛndi sika bɔ ɔman Ghana mu abɔnten ana download LemFi na bɔ news hyɛ mu fi sɛ wɔn kye sika soronko ɛwɔ so Easter ɛba yi menim sɛ kwawufoɔ mo bɛba fie mo amantimi amba no so mo bɛsɛndi sika ba fie nti bɔ mmɔden ana download LemFi ɔmo rate ne yɛ kama wowɔ Canada wowɔ America wowɔ Europe baabiara anaasɛ UK a bɔ news hyɛ mu na wɔn nkyɛw sika first €50 £50 $50 abɛsɛnde no wobɛnya ho mfaso bebree nti fa saa kwanya so na enjoy saa bonus yi any promo yi abusua yenkɔ yɛnhwɛ ne ntie ne ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ ha nyinaa.
Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana and Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, please. Thank you. Please be seated.
President John Mahama, and to the members of your government who are here with us this morning, and to all of the people of Ghana, I recognize you. Let me recognize as well my own delegation who is here with me this morning. As I arrived in Ghana and I was driving along the street, I could not tell the difference whether I was at home or in a foreign country. And Mr. President, one of the things that really stuck out to me was last UN General Assembly. There are a lot of speeches given, but I particularly listened to your speech, and your speech inspired me. And I said, I told my team that I wanted to meet you. And I'm not only meeting you, but you have welcomed me back home. Thank you very much. So we come not only as partners in diplomacy, but as family, reconnecting across the Atlantic. St. Kitts and Nevis and Ghana share more than diplomatic ties. We share history. The story of my nation, like that of so many in the Caribbean, is inextricably linked to the story of West Africa. The transatlantic slave trade forcibly connected our ancestors, but it did not erase their identity, culture, intellect, or resilience. In our music, in our spirituality, our cuisine, and our communal traditions, the spirit of Africa lives on in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean. Ghana's own journey from the Gold Coast to independence under, may God forever bless his soul, Kwame Nkrumah, resonates deeply with our own path to sovereignty. We are nations, island nations, with strong voices. We understand the meaning of self-determination, and we appreciate the power of togetherness in shaping our destiny. Today, our relationship is not confined to the pages of history. It is active, growing, and forward-looking. In recent years, St. Kitts and Nevis and Ghana have strengthened cooperation in education and healthcare. Just this year, we formally signed an MOU with the University of Ghana, an esteemed and prestigious learning institution to enhance cooperation in education, research, youth development, and innovation. And we are also advancing our relations in healthcare with the recruitment of well-trained Ghanaian nurses. This visit also carries significant historical and moral importance. The question of reparatory justice remains a global conversation, not simply about compensation, but about recognition, repair, and the restructuring of global systems that were built on exploitation. Reparations are about restoring dignity, creating equitable opportunity, and building pathways for shared economic advancement between Africa, Caribbean, and indeed the world. As such, St. Kitts and Nevis sees Ghana not only as a historical anchor, but as a strategic partner in Africa, a gateway for deeper Africa-Caribbean engagement. As chair of CARICOM earlier this year, I emphasized the importance of strengthening South-South cooperation. Our engagement here reflects that commitment in action. We are here to listen, we are here to share, we are here to learn from each other, and most importantly, to build together. We are here to expand collaboration in education and healthcare and beyond, to explore trade and investment, to strengthen cultural diplomacy, and to formalize mechanisms that allow our peoples to connect more easily and more meaningfully. Most importantly, we are here in the spirit of shared destiny. Excellency, thank you once again for your hospitality and for the opportunity to deepen the bonds between our two nations and Africa and the wider Caribbean and the diaspora. May this visit mark not merely a diplomatic engagement, but a new chapter in an enduring partnership between St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Dr. Terrance Michael Drew, Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Ministers, senior government officials from Ghana and from St. Kitts and Nevis, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to warmly welcome my dear brother and Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terrance Drew, and his distinguished delegation to Ghana. Mr. Prime Minister, your presence here in Accra is a return home. On behalf of the government and people of Ghana, your brothers and sisters, I warmly welcome you and also thank you for extending your stay so as to join us at the commemoration of Ghana's 69th independence celebration in 2 days' time. Our two nations are bound by a shared history and heritage. While the transatlantic slave trade may have put us apart, the resilience of our ancestors and the fortitude of our courage as a global African family continues to shape our common destiny. Together, we'll determine the future of dignity, prosperity, and justice our people deserve. Today's discussion will focus on priority areas of mutual interest, including health cooperation, education cooperation, trade and investment, tourism, skills development, cultural exchange, and collaboration in multilateral fora. We would also explore other areas of mutual interest within the context of South-South cooperation and the strengthening of people-to-people exchanges. Mr. Prime Minister, your visit, which has been arranged to coincide with Ghana's 69th independence anniversary, is particularly meaningful to us. Today, there are some who seek for more neo-colonial structures that have held back the growth and the aspirations of our people. Some are bold to speak of a new form of colonization of resources that will enable them to sustain a Western civilization that serves their kind. As Africans, we cannot be ignorant of the devices of those who seek to work against our interest, or who would want to put divisions in our midst as one global African family. We must be united We must mobilize our common resolve, and we must develop our nations for the benefit of our own people. Under the Accra Reset Initiative, I've been leading such a charge to translate our sovereignty into execution, investment, and shared prosperity. The inspiration that our political independence gave to many of our people should now be transformed into an economic transformation that ensures that today and into the future, any black person anywhere is given his due regard. We must ensure that every boat in our waters rises with the tide that we ourselves are creating. As we commence these deliberations, I wish to assure you that Ghana attaches the highest importance to our relations with St. Kitts and Nevis and the CARICOM. We approach these discussions with optimism, goodwill, and a shared determination to translate our friendship and brotherhood into concrete outcomes for our people. Once again, let me warmly welcome you home, and I thank you for your attention.
Warriors here, this is gungulung 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 gung. This is Ghana News TV. The time is 6 o'clock. Let me follow Ghana.
So send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha. Use LemFi. Say ye fear wo pese won tono. Use LemFi. E dan ya na say japade a wani da so a pese oto Africa ha no. Use LemFi. So wo send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no Africa ha. Use LemFi. Sanso e na say uti obi school fees ama no a. Use LemFi. Nyenti ame kanfo LemFi ama one say utimi send this car efa LemFi so a e ma ni begu bank account mu sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu enu achi nso no de bia LemFi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo send a wo benya LemFi e secured na wo send this car enche na nipa wo send ama no ne nsa aka LemFi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal and France. What the LemFi send this car untu ahwe bomodia dey use me code NEWS news na say any day they can register or LemFi so a unya bonus sanso and how use chance so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor and great pleasure to host this luncheon in honor of my dear brother Prime Minister Dr. Terrance Michael Drew and his distinguished delegation from St. Kitts and Nevis. Mr. Prime Minister, as I indicated earlier, your presence in Ghana is not merely an official visit. It is a homecoming. You and your delegation are warmly welcome back home. As the first Prime Minister of St. Christopher and Nevis to make an official visit to Ghana, you're charting a new and historic course in our bilateral relations. Though separated by the Atlantic Ocean, our nations remain united by history, ancestry, culture, and in our spirits. What geography once divided, history now compels us to bring back together. The painful rupture caused by the transatlantic slave trade severed physical ties between our people, but it did not erase our shared identity. The time has come to move beyond remembrance to reconstruction, to transform shared memories into shared purpose. The artificial mental and economic barriers that long separated Africa and the Caribbean must give way to bridges of trade, mobility, knowledge exchange, and cultural renewal. In this regard, Ghana strongly supports the renewed momentum between the African Union and CARICOM to deepen structured engagement between our two regional blocs. Political solidarity must now be matched by economic integration. Expanding the African Export-Import Bank, Afri-Exim, into the Caribbean is a bold and strategic step towards unlocking trade, investment, and financial cooperation across the Atlantic. Our responsibility as leaders is to mobilize our people around a unifying vision, one that secures dignity, prosperity, and global respect for people of African descent everywhere in the world. We must build systems that empower our youth, expand opportunity, and ensure that our shared civilization is defined not by its trauma, but by its successes. Later this month at the United Nations, Ghana will host a high-level special event on reparatory justice. We believe that the trafficking and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans constitute one of the gravest crimes against humanity. Our call is not for charity, it is for justice. It is a time for our narrative to be told by us, grounded in truth and anchored in accountability. Together, Africa and the Caribbean must speak with one voice, with clarity, unity, and moral conviction. Honorable Prime Minister, since taking office in 2022, you have distinguished yourself as a compassionate, people-centered leader. Your policy priorities, poverty alleviation, disaster response, health and wellness, education-based empowerment, and environmental sustainability align very closely with Ghana's development trajectory. We followed closely the progress your administration has made, particularly in strengthening social protection systems and community resilience. Ghana stands ready to collaborate on areas of mutual benefit, sharing experiences and technical cooperation that support your national development agenda. Distinguished guests, I'm pleased to announce that Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis have agreed to extend our 2018 visa waiver agreement. This was previously applicable to holders of only diplomatic and service passports. Now, this extension of the visa waiver includes holders of ordinary passports. This practical and transformative step will significantly facilitate tourism, trade, business exchanges, and people-to-people connections. We'll also continue discussions on structured labor mobility arrangements. Ghana is prepared where appropriate to support St. Kitts and Nevis with skilled professionals, including nurses, teachers, and other technical experts, while ensuring mutually beneficial frameworks between our countries. Beyond mobility, we've defined key sectors for deeper cooperation: tourism development, climate-resilient agriculture, renewable energy, blue economy initiatives, heritage tourism, and cultural industries. Improved air connectivity between Africa and the Caribbean remains essential. However, we cannot delay progress until every structural constraint is resolved. Platforms such as the African Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, ACTIV, and the African Continental Free Trade Area offer immediate pathways for us to expand trade and forge investment partnerships. Our ambition is clear: to position Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis as model partners in South-South cooperation. Honorable Prime Minister, I commend your leadership of CARICOM and the successful hosting of the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in St. Kitts and Nevis. Ghana deeply appreciates the opportunity you offered us to address CARICOM leaders, though virtually. We value CARICOM's principled stance on reparative justice and look forward to intensified collaboration on truth, reconciliation, and equitable global reforms. Ghana recognizes the vulnerabilities faced by small island developing states, especially in the context of climate change, rising sea levels, food insecurity, and external economic shocks. We stand in solidarity with St. Kitts and Nevis in advocating for climate justice, equitable access to climate finance, and reform of global financial institutions to reflect the realities of developing nations. Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished guests, permit me to express my sincere appreciation to the Prime Minister for extending his stay in Ghana to join us and participate in our 69th Independence Anniversary celebration. Your presence at this milestone event as our special guest symbolizes the unbroken thread connecting our liberation struggles, our contemporary quest for economic emancipation. The political independence Ghana secured in 1957 sparked a continental awakening. Today, the next frontier is economic sovereignty, building productive economies, strengthening intra-African and Afro-Caribbean trade, and asserting our rightful place in global governance. Prime Minister, as you continue your visit, I trust that you and your delegation will experience the warmth, hospitality, and enduring spirit of Ghana. May this visit further strengthen not only our diplomatic relations, but also the emotional and ancestral bonds that unite our people. Distinguished guests, may I now invite you to rise and join me in a toast to the good health and continued success of the Honorable Dr. Terrance Michael Drew, Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, to the peace, progress, and prosperity of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and to the enduring brotherhood, friendship, and cooperation between the Republic of Ghana and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Cheers. I thank you. God bless you.
Recognize His Excellency, the President and the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, this beautiful country, and to thank, I would say now, my brother Mahama for his wonderful hospitality. I also want to recognize, of course, members of both delegations, my delegation from St. Kitts and Nevis, and of course the official delegation that is here on the Ghanaian side. Let me recognize all who are here with us this morning, but especially I want to recognize my dear wife who is traveling with me, my support, and I want to thank her for all that she does. Today's visit is indeed a profound visit on multiple levels. One of the things that sparked my interest in Ghana was listening to the President's address at the United Nations in last year, 2025. And the depth of his presentation was quite inspiring. And for those of you who have not listened to it, I will encourage you to listen to it. But that was not only a speech, but coming out of the speech is the tangible things that we are now moving forward at the United Nations level. Presently, the President in Ghana, they are presenting a resolution to the United Nations, which I deem to be extremely timely and profound. And that is to place on record the historical tragedy of slavery and colonization as one of the most, if not the most, heinous crimes ever committed by humanity against itself. And so I want to thank you, Mr. President, for your tremendous leadership as far as this is concerned, and you can count on us for strong and full support. I am now the chair of CARICOM, which are all of the countries in the Caribbean region, the independent countries, and we have some associated members. And I have, of course, considered this my responsibility to get CARICOM on board, and the deliberations have started. And so I wanted to place that on record. My visit here on another level is really coming back home. As I drove through Ghana, I couldn't tell the difference as whether I was in St. Kitts and Nevis or I was in Ghana. It's profound. It's revealing. You have to experience it to know it. Each person I see look like somebody I know. Yes. Last year I was relating to Mr. President, of course, that I had the opportunity to meet the deputy or the vice president in Addis when we had the first in-person meeting between the AU and CARICOM. I was the chair from the CARICOM side, and His Excellency President from Angola was the chair from the African side. And I met a lady, a distinguished lady, and inquired who she was, because she looked so much like my aunt. And as I approached her, she said, you know, she was the vice president of Ghana. So I'm really thinking now that my family might have come from here. But on another level, this gives us the opportunity for our peoples to connect and the tangible opportunities that can come from that connection. In terms of our people-to-people connection, why should our people have to go to the north to get to the south or to get to Ghana? There should be direct communication between Ghana or the West Africa and the Caribbean, Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis, so that our people don't have to travel anywhere else to connect among ourselves. And that is why I welcome today the signing of the MOU for visa-free access for ordinary citizens or citizens who own ordinary passports. This will connect us tremendously. Thank you, Mr. President. And then there is the exchange of labor. I have heard that Ghana has a surplus of healthcare professionals, and the Caribbean has a dearth of healthcare professionals. And isn't it good that you have these well-trained health professionals here in Ghana, and we have a scarcity of healthcare professionals? And we already have a number of Ghanaian nurses who have come to St. Kitts and Nevis. They started to work, I think, within the last 3 to 4 weeks. And I can say to you, without a doubt, that they are well received, they are well trained, the people have received them well, and I've been asked to ask His Excellency, the President, for more Ghanaian nurses. And so after this visit, we will have, to some extent, or at least in a framework of nurses coming to St. Kitts and Nevis in a greater quantity this year. Already, that is a tangible benefit for both countries. One, supplying skilled labor, and for our services with respect to healthcare being upgraded and being delivered to our people. These are the type of collaborations that we can do among ourselves and make ourselves self-sufficient as the African continent and as the Caribbean, and as in the framework as well of South-South cooperation. So I thank you. In addition to that, there's more. I was approached by our national choir that is really headed by our Governor General. And they made a presentation to my cabinet maybe a few weeks ago. And they are slated to come to Ghana for a cultural extravaganza and presenting our own culture to our people here in Ghana. And it's so quite interesting that all this time is so many things are happening at the same time. People moving to work, cultural exchanges taking place, visa-free access taking place, and now we are in the discussion of having students move across. And that to me tells me, there's a word, the Zeitgeist is a German word, but it's in English. I think this is the times that is saying to this generation, it's time, as Mr. President mentioned, to take this relationship between the Caribbean and Africa to the next level where our people would benefit tangibly, significantly. And so I want to wrap up by saying that my visit here is timely. My visit here would redound to the benefit of both the people in the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Nevis specifically, and the people here in Ghana. And that has already started. I said to one diplomat, all that is happening now, the time has called for it, and our generation has the responsibility to respond. So let us work together to continue to build the relationship between Africa and the Caribbean, Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis. And so join me in a toast. Stand. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, we say the hip hip hooray 3 times when it's a toast. So I'll bring a little bit of that here. It's not our original thing, but somehow we have adopted that. But I want to say to all of us that long live this strong, growing relationship between Ghana and St. Kitts and Nevis, Africa and the Caribbean. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip hip! Hooray! Thank you very much. Yes.
So send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha use LemFi. Say ye fear wo pese wo ntono use LemFi. Edan ya na say japade a wani da so a pese oto Africa ha no use LemFi. So wo send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no wo Africa ha use LemFi. Sanso e na say uti obi school fees ama no a use LemFi. Nyenti ame kanfo LemFi ama one say utimi send this sika e fa LemFi so a e ma ni begu bank account mu sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu. Enu achi nso no de bia LemFi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo send a wo benya. LemFi e secured na wo send this car enche na nipa wo send ama no ne nsa aka. LemFi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal, and France. What the LemFi send this car untu ahwe. Bomodi an dey use me code NEWS news. Na say any day they can register or LemFi so a unya bonus. Sanso and now use chance so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
Me no makwekwe sa sempa kania. Se me nam na meti asempa no ma mo amane a na ma no keka me. Anyem bia what ANS Trading Agency Limited nka. Se wo ka se door to door for no de na e watwa. E sense wo bia no wa wo say wo was door to door business nim. Wo nyoma wo UK a wo de ko Ghana. Ana se Germany a wo de ko Ghana. 3 to 5 weeks e be kwa kodu nipa ne punu anu say try. Na de mo demo sronko wo se adwuma de we mu ne se wo mo bo no. E da form say boko. ANS Trading Agency Limited. E wo air freight special service. And on nyoma ne ye de be fa play. Entintempa na akwa Obetima for South Africa, we also the new free Ghana, Aqua UK, and Germany. FAGG them, which are also in a year, I mean drop a bomb. ANS Trading Agency Limited pair, and a 40-footer, any 20-footer container. FA UK, Edico Ghana, and Germany, Edico Ghana. Oma Manio Mayemre, importo, exporto, them there for you. Omo Ghana Namani, 0249 170 423. UK has over Freya 0790 802 7527. Germany 09173 771 2733. Ubenya ANS Trading Agency Limited. Our West Croydon ANS Trading Agency Limited. Quantum Brantem. Wana beboya baso. Mary, next time in your fill up from the bebro.